Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What's going on, everybody? RN, welcome back, my friend. All right, what happened last night, man?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a lot of money riding on the Giants game and that Bengals game, so I was like,
knew it. I knew it was the game.
yeah, we're gonna have to push this back a little bit.
We pushed the show back for football.
We pushed the show back for football.
We pushed the show back for football, everybody. Oh man, well,
Sorry.
We're gonna have all of like 2 viewers. Allison and Will will be here. And it'll just be Allison. Allison's essentially just like the third member of the Smack Draw. It's weird. Allison, they officially left the show, but Allison's sticking around as our Twitch moderator, which I fucking it's awesome. Thank you, Allison.
Absolutely.
Everybody, if you're not familiar with the show, this is the Rewind. RN and I, we take a look back at the latest week in pro wrestling, in and outside the ring. We talk about like news, rumors. We talk about actual in kayfabe story stuff that we like. Just your general pro wrestling podcast. Just hanging out with 2 buddies here. If you are new, we shoot these live Sundays. RN.
Sometimes.
Sundays, unless apparently the Giants are playing, and then we'll shoot it the next day.
Listen. I love this show. I love you. I love pro wrestling. But I love the Giants more than all of those things.
Well, if the Giants aren't playing, we'll try to shoot live on Sundays at 9 p.m. Twitch.tv/Smacked Raw. And then all of our videos are uploaded to YouTube, youtube.com/Smacked Raw podcast. Give us a like, subscribe, follow the Twitch. And then, of course, the audio version's found everywhere. We're on Apple Podcasts is what we push the most. Yep. Go ahead and leave us some 5-star reviews. Next week, I'll go back to reading the 5-star reviews. We got a bunch, and then they kind of like dropped off for a bit, so I didn't want to just keep reading repeats. But I think we got a couple more. So I'll go back to reading them next week. RN, man, dude, what a week it's been. We're going to, by the way, folks, I'm going to try this thing where in the beginning of the show, I'll run down what we have lined up to talk about, so you're not just tuning in, wondering what the hell is going on. Are we just going to ramble about our children and food for an hour, or if we actually have shit we want to talk about? So, with that being said, Aaron and I are going to start the chatter about the Royal Rumble. We're 2 weeks away, so we'll go ahead and give some thoughts on Royal Rumble, rumors, all that stuff. We're going to quickly recap all the Vince drama. I know everybody else has already done a deep dive into Vince McMahon and bringing back, so we're not going to bore you with all of that Vince news. We'll just give a brief recap of the latest week. And then I was inspired by a YouTube channel, Wrestle Talk, to kind of talk about things that might change in WWE this year under Vince's control. We'll just predict some changes Vince might put in place. New Japan Battle in the Valley apparently has sold out. We'll run down a couple matches on that card, give some thoughts. Apparently Impact Hard to Kill went down.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
It did go down Saturday. Okay, I'm going to look up some stuff on that. And then we'll talk about some WWE and AEW stories. Or matches and stuff like that. Why not? Right away, Allison says she thinks it's stupid that WWE tells everyone who's in the Rumble. Yeah, you're right. The whole appeal of that shit is for like surprises, and they tell you about 4/5 of who's in the Rumble.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of agree, but also too, you never know what number they're coming, so it's kind of a give and take on it.
I would. So out of 30 participants, I wouldn't mind knowing around like 10 or 12. But I would rather just leave it up to chance for the majority, you know.
I would only, honestly, like if I had to pick, like I'm kind of with Allison, but I would have it like we only know about the people that are in the qualifying matches.
Yeah, and that's roughly about maybe 10 to 15. Like, you know.
Right.
Leave the other half of the field.
Right.
As for a surprise. Allison and hey, you guys are probably gonna talk about Raw. I'm probably gonna have Raw spoiled for me while we're shooting the show.
I think we're gonna get the Hurt Business with Almost.
Yeah, dude. Hey, I'm there for it.
Yeah.
I don't mind almost. I just he's not a solo guy.
No.
You know what I mean? I think you can dress that guy up right.
He's got some new gear too. Looks a little bit better than just the fucking wife beater and cargo pants he used to wear. He's actually wearing like some legit wrestling gear.
Brady's looking frustrated out here, man. Brady's looking real frustrated.
Yeah.
Anyways, RN, how's the Giants doing in football? They're like one of the only teams I didn't keep up with.
We beat the fucking trash second team Minnesota Vikings. I knew they were garbage. We played them a couple weeks ago and they beat us with a 61-yard field goal. So I knew I was gonna we were gonna beat them. I bet big on them, won $250. New York. We play the Eagles next week in the divisional round.
Okay.
We're probably gonna lose to the Eagles, which I mean I'm not mad at because honestly my team has been trash for about the past 7 years. So like them even getting to the playoffs at all was unexpected, and then winning a game is even more unexpected. So making it to the second round, like this is it's fucking godsend. So I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, well, I like for all New York teams to fucking lose, especially the Bills. You know what? I never had anything against the Bills till I met Kevin.
Right.
And it is solely down to one person why I root against the fucking Bills now.
I don't root against the Bills because that's kind of like my pops and all of them. Like that's kind of like their thing or whatever. It's still a New York team technically.
Yeah.
I don't root against. I don't really necessarily cheer for them, but I don't root against them either. And shout out to them for letting Brian Daboll go. That's he was their offensive coordinator. He's our head coach now, so definitely got to fuck with the Bills.
Cage, my IQ hopped in the chat. What's up, man? This is who I talk about all my UFC stuff with.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, dude, he's dope as shit. I've been meaning to collaborate with him on some UFC stuff. Maybe now that I have a little less on my plate on the show wise, I might look into more of the collabs and everything. No, I definitely hate the Bills. They fucking beat my Patriots, man.
Yeah.
Storm. That was it. My hopes and dreams went out the window when the Patriots lost that game.
Yep.
And then I read up today that apparently Tom Brady, if the Bucks win today, Tom Brady will have more postseason victories than the Cowboys in franchise history, and that blows my fucking mind.
Well, I hate the Cowboys with a passion, so I just hope they lose. So it doesn't matter.
I know a couple Cowboys fans.
Everyone knows a couple Cowboys fans. They're America's team, and they haven't won shit in 30 years. It's always their year. Every year. Always.
I mean, I think anybody with a pretty bad team, that's what they always say. It's our year this year, folks.
And that's the thing. They're not really a bad team. They're just terrible. They just have terrible fans. Like they're never really trash. Like they're always decent or at least pretty good, but they're not Super Bowl contenders every year like everyone, like their fans think they are.
Allison says, at least you're not a Cowboys fan, RN. Cage says, Cowboys fans are cockroaches in America.
They are the worst fans in all of sports. Like no one can tell me.
I feel bad because like the guy, Justin Heel Tactics, who did our intro. Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan.
Tough break, man.
Tough break, man.
Everybody's got to have something bad about them.
Oh shit.
Oh, also too, got to FaceTime with Dawkins this weekend.
FaceTime with Dawkins? What's that?
Yeah, from the Street Profits. You didn't see it in the. I didn't. I guess I didn't put it in our chat, but yeah, I got to FaceTime Dawkins from the Street Profits for 10 minutes. It's Saturday night.
How did that come about?
Well, he's from Cincinnati, and Raw is in Cincinnati, and one of my buddies went to school with his brother, so they were all tailgating and shit together, and he was talking him up about me and shit and everything, trying to get him, and then finally got drunk enough, and I got to FaceTime him.
Wait, so this wasn't even like a cameo or a virtual meet and greet?
No, this was a full-fledged, like a legit. My buddy, he
just hit him up on his iPhone. What's up, Dawkins?
Yeah,
dude, you're fucking with me, man. Stop
I swear to God, I'll send you
why are you fucking with me? No, you didn't.
All right, I guess I mean everybody else in the chat saw it. I guess I don't know how you didn't. So
wait, are you the UW pod chat?
Yeah.
Shit, I must have missed it. When'd you send it?
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yeah, I just sent it to your DMs.
Let me see this shit. Let me see this fake ass doctor picture you got. What you got? Man, that ain't Dawkins. That's some random guy in a bar.
That's Dawkins.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was fucking dope. Like, I think he thought I was about to be some like super nerdy ass fucking like super fan. And then when he realized I was a real NIGGA, he was like, "What the fuck?"
He heard podcaster.
Too many like y'all. I was trying to get him on the podcast, but you know, WWE, you got to go through the proper channels and all that shit.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. You don't just like hit a guy up. No,
my buddy, he was like, "Man, I just really wanted him to get." I was like, "No, he wasn't like giving me the run around." I'm like, no, he legitimately contractually can't just jump on a podcast without the company okaying it. So like, he wasn't talking shit to you when he said that. That's literally the truth.
Allison will know all about that. Like the people, like certain
Right.
companies, you got to jump through some hoops before you can get their talent.
Right.
In an interview. God damn, man. The only other thing to talk about this week, man, is hey, your boy. Hey, I got a promotion at work.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, moving up.
Finally getting paid for doing all the manager shit you were doing anyway.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the thing. It was a pretty smooth transition.
Right.
The funny thing is like they sent me the offer letter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it in the because I get paid both hourly and commission.
Right.
And the hourly rate, like they were gonna pay me the same as like what I was already making. I had to hit it. I was like, oh, hey, pump the brakes, man. I don't want to sound ungrateful. But I thought with a promotion, I'd at least get like a pay raise for at least my hourly. And they didn't fight me too hard on it, and they ended up sending me another offer with a decent bump up this time around. So that was pretty cool. I felt odd. I've never, it's kind of sad because I'm 34, but I've never had a promotion before.
I've only had one or two, and really one of them I didn't deserve, but I was just like the last man standing. So they kind of had to give it to me.
Yeah. You were there.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, man, let's get into the wrestling. I wanted to talk about a movie really quick. Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Nope.
Oh, you gotta check it out. Apparently, at the Golden Globes, a couple of people from that movie they won some awards. But it's a fucking great movie. I won't bore you with it because
what's it on?
It's on it's on Prime. I'll give you my Prime login because
I got Prime. You
got to buy it.
Oh, you got to buy it. Okay.
It's $20. Yeah, I bought the movie, so I'll give you my login. You got to check it out though. It's really good. It's it appears to be like a kung fu like comedy multiverse movie, but as the movie goes on, it unravels into a much a different story, and that's what's really cool about it. You don't see it coming. It'll get you. But anyways, let's talk about fucking wrestling, dude. Where's your hype for Royal Rumble this year? Where are you sitting at right now? 2 weeks out.
I'm pretty hyped for it now, especially with Cody announcing he's coming back for sure. I called this when he first got injured that he'd be back and that he's going to win, and I'm still sticking with it.
Yeah, I think the odds makers, if I recall hearing earlier today, he's the odds-on favorite right now to win.
Right.
Yeah, which we've been calling for like fucking ever since he returned to WWE, like last WrestleMania. Cage My IQ says he's going to Raw 30 next week. That's dope, dude. Yeah, Raw 30th anniversary. That's fucking crazy, bro. But I hope you have fun, man. Where's that out of?
I've literally been watching wrestling for over 30 years.
Have you?
I've never stopped watching wrestling. Like, I remember the first Raw. Like, I had to beg my mom to let me stay up till 9 to even fucking watch it. And she said if I cried the next day or whatever, didn't get up, I'd never be able to watch Raw again. So I sucked that shit up the next morning.
That's awesome. I started watching. It was around. I think around I don't know, a little after the NWO formed. So you're like late 90s.
Right.
And I was one of those people that went back and forth between Raw and Nitro.
Same.
Yeah. And I watched all the way up until shortly before, I would say maybe like a year out from like the Chris Benoit tragedy.
Right.
And I didn't watch from then all the way up to it was The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania. That's what brought me back. Yeah, that's what brought me back. So there's a gap.
I literally remember the first wrestling match I ever saw. Well, it was a vignette. It was when Papa Shango made the Venom and shit come down on
Dude,
Ultimate Warrior.
How fucking old are you, bro?
I'm 38. Yeah, I literally remember that. Like, it was my mom's godbrother. He watched it, and that's kind of how we. And whenever he'd come over for the weekend, like he'd literally run through the door doing the Ultimate Warrior, literally saying it like that, and then he'd come in and fucking gorilla press us all on the bed and shit. We're fucking laughing and joking, smacking the ceiling and shit, thinking we're having the best time of our lives, and he's fucking us up. And then I sat down and watched it with him, and he was like, "This is who you need to watch, the Ultimate Warrior." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't really like him. I actually like Triple H better." But yeah, I literally have never. I didn't give a fuck about people calling me a nerd in high school, any of that shit. I still kept watching it. Even made girls come over on dates and shit, and we'd watch Raw and shit too. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Never stopped watching wrestling.
Damn. I remember my first favorite wrestler, and this is what blows my mind, because he's still an active roster member. Can you guess who it is?
I don't think I'm trying to think. We're about the same age, so it's a lot of people that it could be, honestly.
He's still active on the WWE roster.
I don't know. You got me beat.
Yeah, my first favorite wrestler was Rey Mysterio. And it's crazy to me that, like, I remember watching Rey at, like, 10, 11 years old, thinking he was the coolest guy. He's obviously, at that point, he's in WCW.
Right.
And then eventually he went to, like, the Filthy Animals. He took his mask off.
Took his mask off and
super
shit.
Cool, like Cholo Rey. And then, from there, it did transition. I've had, like, many favorite wrestlers throughout the years.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't. Like, I've had guys that I like or that are in my top 5, but my favorite wrestler has been Triple H since I started watching wrestling. Like, I've never not liked. He's never not been my favorite wrestler.
Triple H,
which is crazy.
Yeah, you and my brother Kurt, man. I couldn't. Yeah, Kurt liked Triple H too. Back when, like, it wasn't cool to like Triple H. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, like I always wondered. I was like, dude, he's kind of like. I was like, dude, he comes across kind of like a dick, and I don't know.
Like chainmail, walking to the ring with like the Big Papa Pump chainmail without the. You know, that Triple H. You know what I'm saying?
I came around to Triple H just like a lot of other people when he came back from that quad injury.
Right.
When he came back from the quad injury, I think that was like the first time like pro wrestling made me like feel something for like.
Yeah, it's a leather vest, jean jacket, leather vest combo Triple H.
Yeah. It was the vignettes though. That was the first signs of like how great WWE are with their like video packages and vignettes and stuff.
I honestly don't know why I attached to him. Like, I never really changed. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was because I know initially it was him being the blue blood or whatever, him fucking coming to the ring, bowing the niggas and then knocking them out and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker just bowed to him and they go knock him out. Like, I really honestly don't know why I fell in love with him. I know what cemented it though was the slot match with Henry O'Godwin.
Who?
That was when I was.
Oh, the slot match. Yeah. Dude.
That was when I was like, this pretty ass motherfucker just beat this dude's ass in that fucking pig pen. I'm like, that man is hard.
You were watching wrestling a whole generation before me, man. Or at least like a good 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also damn near a good 5 or 6 years older than you, too.
There you go. There it is. The Cody video packages. They've been reminding me of that classic Triple H one coming back.
Yep. Pumping iron for no reason and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get it set and record this real quick.
Yeah.
I also saw, did you see too that they were he handpicked Carmelo and Gacy as the guys
I heard
to help
that
him.
as I was looking up stuff for us to talk about today.
Yeah.
That's who he recruited. Yeah, dude. He's Cody's gonna be like the biggest damn star, the biggest baby face by a landslide in this company when he comes back.
I've literally called from the beginning. That's the only person that you have that could take the belts off Roman and it feel realistic because he is going to be that big a face when he debuts, when he comes back. Like it's it's literally the prodigal son, the prince, the return of the king, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like he's WWE royalty. Like, and he's literally the only person that stacks up. Like, I mean, because I love Kevin Owens, I love Seth, I love all these guys that are here, but like none of them are. It just doesn't seem plausible that any of them are going to take those belts from. But Cody is different.
Well, yeah, and also their alignment where they have to like bounce between like heel and face for their thing. Like Cody, you can like just as a good guy.
Right.
You know, granted, he's always gonna irritate a certain portion of the audience, but I mean, his story is so genuinely touching. I mean, it doesn't hurt that he's, you know, fucking the American Dream son, who's one of the most beloved wrestling figures of all time. So.
Right. And not even the thing about that too is it's not just like with fans, it's with half the fucking roster. Like he had an integral part in literally half the main event roster's career. Like, and that's rare right there in itself that he touched so many different generations before he passed and like and through his time in the industry. So it's like, yeah, Cody's definitely the one.
Yeah.
Might as well call him Neo.
We'll talk some more about Royal Rumble stuff here in a minute.
Yeah.
But I want to go over like the Vince stuff and kind of have some fun here. A quick recap of the last week. Go back a week last week when me and RN were talking, and RN's like, "I'm not listening to you," and like immediately after we stopped shooting that night, like all the drama came out, dude. And I love it. Everything to do with Vince McMahon is becoming dated immediately because these changes are happening by the day.
But luckily, I did hear that. I don't know who posted it, but it was that Triple H had a talent only meeting before SmackDown recorded and let them know that
like
no changes are.
Yeah, it was like a cool down meeting. So
yeah, like no changes are happening. Like Vince is here just to fucking sell the company. Relax, nothing.
That's what Stephanie said too. And yeah. Well, anyways, here's the recap. So, without going into like too much detail, just because I'm sure you guys have already heard most of it, Vince returned as chairman of the board a little over a week ago. He boots out multiple board members on his return to power in WWE. Stephanie McMahon releases a memo stating that it's just for the sale of the company, not for the day-to-day ongoings. Then 3 days later, Stephanie McMahon just voluntarily stepped down as a co-CEO. That same night, rumors sparked up that WWE had been sold to Saudi Arabia, only to be shot down the very next day. It doesn't mean it's not true. However, a lawsuit was opened against Vince for his forceful takeover of the company. Then Vince McMahon ends up sending out a bunch of notes to different departments in WWE claiming things are being done wrong at this point. Vince also rehired Brad Blum, who was fired by the Triple H regime a month and a half ago. Brad Blum, by the way, his position in the company is for all the stuff that when people want to talk about like what to do and things to do and everything, and they can't talk to Vince directly, Brad is the person Vince hands those tasks to. And then on SmackDown, Triple H held a meeting, like you said, to try to calm the fires and to try to just undo the fear the talent are having that Vince is just going to force his way back into creative and everything's going to go to crap again. Because that's kind of the vibe everyone has. Is Vince is back, things are just going to turn into crap. RN, where's your optimism level here today, January 16th? Because we have to date it.
Right.
Because it becomes dated so quickly. Where's your optimism level for the company of WWE as a whole, as a fan, behind the scenes stuff? Where are you at?
I haven't wavered. As long as Triple H is in power, like nothing that I feel about the company is going anywhere. Because at the end of the day, the financial side, the business side, and all that shit, like that doesn't necessarily affect the product until the new owner comes in and changes people and puts in who he wants in place. So until Triple H is gone, like I'm still here and I still have my same level of excitement and just my same level. Like I'm not, the Vince shit doesn't mean anything to me. Like I said, until he actually takes back over creative. And like my thing is too, like, motherfucker, you see what the company is going through and like how it's going. Like, why would you want to come and change it? Like, what do you think you could bring to the table that you haven't brought in the last 30 fucking years? Or even if you do just the last 10, what if you think you could bring to the table that you haven't already done and already fucking had the company in the shitter and had everybody damn near hating the WWE? So like, why would you think that you could fix something or put everything back in place? If it's anything other than that, it's your fucking ego for sure. So like, I'm not
And
listening to
are you
anything.
sitting here thinking that Vince McMahon doesn't have an ego?
No, I'm just saying like that would be it. Like, first of all, he's got fucking what 3 sexual assault cases things against him too, and he still came back. Like,
Dude,
he doesn't give a fuck.
No,
so
no,
I'm
no,
hoping
man.
I'm hoping they sell this shit quick and we can get rid of him.
Yeah, so that's actually a good segue into this fun topic. Now, this is not 80% of this is from Wrestle Talk, so and they're a very popular wrestling YouTube channel. So before anybody comes at me and says that I'm ripping off a channel, I'm acknowledging it right here on air. But we can speculate changes that we could see with Vince back over the next, let's say, fiscal year. So the first
Austin Theory will be the champ.
Austin Theory goes back.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I would be down with Vince for is if he comes back. We know Austin Theory is beating Roman Reigns at the next WrestleMania.
Austin Theory comes out on Raw with just the biggest shit-eating grin today. You know what I mean?
That's the only thing with Vince I'm down with. Is I know that Austin Theory will be the champ within the next year if he comes back.
Austin Theory might as well just take up Vince's entrance song. Hand that down to him, man. Hand that down to Theory. So obviously the big one is the sale of WWE. That's the whole reasoning, the official reasoning why Vince claims he returned. That's what got him back into the company. Is the sale of WWE. Some names that are in the running for likelihood to purchase the company. We've got Comcast, I think is the big one. Yeah. Saudi Arabia. Who's the one that owns NBC? What's the company? Is it? It's not Viacom.
It used to be Viacom. I forgot what it is now.
Yeah, hold on. Who owns NBC? Is it Comcast? NBC Universal. Fuck, I don't know. Anyways, those are some big ones. That feels like a done deal, right? We kind of are we. You right there that we feel like we will see the sale of the WWE in 2023.
Yeah, because the main thing was they were trying to get it done before the negotiations for the TV deal, which I think it said is up in like March or April.
Yeah.
I think that's why the power play happened. So he wouldn't have to, I don't know if it's more so he wouldn't have to be a part of the negotiations or what.
No, he says he doesn't want the negotiations to go down without him. He wouldn't.
No, I'm talking about for the TV deal, not for the sale of the company.
For both. He will not let the business side of the company run. Like negotiations for deals run without him. That was his whole official reasoning for coming back.
Which I don't like that, honestly. Like, as much as I hate it, like, I don't mind it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me. You've raised a company for like 40 years or whatnot.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you're forcefully booted out, you know, rightfully so, because you're a scumbag. But that doesn't change the fact that you, the person, you grew something, and then all of a sudden everybody else says, no, we're gonna take over it. Like Vince, this is definitely Vince's baby, and he's gonna see it to the end. Which that's kind of what tells me I believe we will see the sale. I think Vince is trying to get to that finish line. You know, worst timeline scenario is it goes to Saudi, the company goes private, and then Saudi just puts Vince in control, and then he can run WWE until he looks like the fucking Crypt Keeper. Right. You know, but what is also likely is it goes to Comcast, who Allison helped us out. Says they're owned by NBC Universal. So yeah, it could go to Comcast, who they already have Peacock. They've already got WWE integrated into their streaming service. That would be a more seamless transition. Mm-hmm. In which case, they still have to keep in mind of the investors, and they're not going to want some crazy old man who's pushing 90 years old running around getting all these scandals. So chances are Vince won't be in power much longer if that's the case. You know what I mean? There's a very good chance that once the sale is done, then the presence of Vince McMahon will might finally see its end. What was next up on that list? It says, more WWE releases. This I wholeheartedly believe, unfortunately, is gonna happen. Whether or not it's as dramatic as all of the NXT roster that Triple H just got done rehiring. We're probably going to see more budget cuts to make the company seem more profitable for the sale. RN, do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, that's with any business. That always happens. I think that's what the original budget cuts were for to begin with. And then right after that is when all the shit popped up with Vince where he had to go away. But I think that that's exactly what all those original ones were for, was for them to clean up shit to get ready for this sale.
I just looked up, dude, the Bucks are getting their ass beat.
Smacked.
16-0. Yeah, dude. I feel like that's the thing. Oh my God. I can just picture like Karrion Kross is gone again. Who else? William Regal gone again before
Bray.
Never even makes it back to TV and we hear of his release.
Bray.
Braun. No, Braun would probably stick. No, he'd be gone because his paycheck. He's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like all those dudes all the big money guys at the release had just re-upped for huge contracts right before all of this.
Yeah. What do you think about Cody? You think Cody factors in big?
Yeah, I think Cody was a Vince thing. Remember that all happened
while Vince was in power.
That was definitely a Vince thing.
Yeah, that was right. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna be a lot of releases.
No, absolutely there is. And that's not a Vince thing. That would have been with whoever had fucking was in charge of selling the company. Like that's just how it goes when things like this happen with companies being sold. Like they downsize and circle the fucking wagons to make the company look as good as they can for potential buyers.
Yeah. Like another worst case scenario, like a fat kid in front of a candy jar can't control himself. Triple H gets demoted and Vince goes back to head of creative, and he just goes back to running the company day to day.
That's not gonna happen.
Come on, you don't think so? We won't see more.
I'm not gonna think about it. I don't want to even talk about it. Next.
That's what everyone's scared of.
No, I don't like I said, like the uptick in popularity of the product since Triple H took over. Like you'd be a fucking idiot, no matter how big your ego is, for you to interfere with that. Like it would just make no damn sense.
You don't think it's a case of Vince who steps away and he's like, yeah, we'll see. The company is gonna fall apart without me. And then fucking everything you read is all this renewed interest in WWE and the fans' enjoyment level and satisfaction levels at and high. You don't think he was sitting there salty as fuck, thinking that it was just going to crumble without him? And then
I think he
was seeing
was
that the company's flourishing.
I think he was,
absence.
But also too, I think he's kind of got his chest out a little bit because he's been literally grooming Triple H for this for the past fucking 10 years.
Then why fucking gut him in NXT?
I don't think he gutted him. I think he gutted it so Triple H could come. It's like in a mob or some shit or shit like that, where your guy needs to be. You just got to erase everything to get him where you need to go. So I think it was more so that to get him closer to him with Raw and SmackDown and all that. Because if that was the case, why didn't he just get rid of Triple H altogether? He didn't. He just gutted out NXT. Like, all right, you're done with this now. It's time for you to move on. That's what I always looked at it as, because
he took his pet dog out back and
shot
it.
It literally.
It's time to do grown up stuff and stop playing with your dog.
Yeah, it's like on Kingsman when they had started out with the puppies and shit and everything and to graduate. They had to blame the dog. Like that's how I looked at that. Like, because think about all the documentaries and all the shit we saw backstage. Like Vince was, even with when he first started the NXT shit, Vince was always in his ear. Like he was always there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was giving him his leeway to fucking kind of make it his own, but it still went through Vince. Like, and it's still, that was Vince's guiding hand on it. So that's how I've always looked at it. Like, I think that Triple H was always his appointed successor. I just think that he took advantage of him being sick and everything to fucking take his dog out back and then tell him when he comes back, you're going to be next to me in Gorilla. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always thought that was going to be the thing before. I think a lot of this too was before the sale too, like clearing up Triple H to be able to do whatever they needed to do after the sale took place. Because that's what all of this to me was: the mass firings, regutting and redoing NXT. Like, I think all of this was set up for the potential sale, and then they just wasn't expecting all these women to come out and R. Kelly and Bill Cosby Vince. So I think that that's what kind of threw a fucking wrench and everything was that. But I think all of this was set up just for the sale.
I think you're pretty optimistic, man. I don't see it, but I can see where you get that, where you're getting that.
I mean, he fired and got rid of his own son, but he didn't get rid of Triple H. Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
let's be fair. Have you ever seen Vince McMahon's birthday tweets? Like when he sends out to like John Cena or something, and then the one that Shane McMahon gets.
Yeah,
Shane's kind of gotten the short end of the stick.
That's what, bro. Like, he got rid of, he got rid of everybody except for Triple H. Triple H is still there. Like, I'm sorry. I just always, like, no matter what, I always felt like in the back of his mind, Stephanie and Triple H were his appointed successors, like from the beginning.
Hey, Noob's here. What's up, Noob?
What up, Noob?
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, granted, I figured he thought he was going to be 130 before that happened, but I still think that they were his who he had in mind to take over for him in 2062.
Man, I never really pictured for you to be like the ray of hope and optimism, right?
You didn't just hear what year I said that Vince thought they would take over?
Yeah.
2062, not 20.
Allison, Will suggested another thing we could see is the rehiring of John Laurinaitis, which I totally agree. It's another thing that would cause a fucking uproar, considering it did come out that Allison asked if he had sexual what'd she say?
I thought he did.
Assault charges on him. I didn't hear that. I know there was the story that Vince was essentially just in that really there was the quote that Vince handed off a female employee to Johnny Ace like as like a toy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which I don't think was illegal, but there could be assault charges on Johnny Ace too that I just don't know about. I'm not denying that. But yeah, Johnny Ace is he's a kind of a scumbag. He was actually thrown under the bus.
Right.
When the scandals and all that stuff came to light. So, although he might not be like the happiest person with Vince, it's not like he would deny his job. I just don't see Johnny Ace ever turning down being Vince McMahon's glad hand again. I could see that for sure.
Right.
One that was not actually predicted by Wrestle Talk, but I saw earlier. Now, this is from Ringside News, so take it with a grain of salt. I didn't even read the article, but I thought it was a fun thought, and it was that WWE will go back to $60 pay-per-views. Now, this is with the context with the sale of the company, meaning they could sell the company, they would do away with the monthly streaming platform, or do kind of like what ESPN Plus does. You get a bunch of content for the subscription. However, the pay-per-views you still have to purchase.
Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah, dude. No, like I don't buy the UFC pay-per-views. Sorry, I don't. I know a website. The same
Facts.
website is gonna show me all the WWE stuff. I ain't going.
Facts.
Yeah. I even think growing up, I think we bought maybe like 3 pay-per-views in total.
I didn't have to buy any. My mom worked for the cable company. I got them all for
you
free.
fucking lucky bastard, dude. Yeah. Allison says she thinks there would be kind of like an exodus, a walkout, if Vince was to come back to creative. I don't know.
It had to have been something close to that for Triple H to have the meeting that he had to have. So it had to be like, I kind of agree with Allison. Like, I don't know if it would have been a mass exodus, but I think it was pretty close to being an issue for him to have a fucking players only meeting like in the NFL and shit.
I would love to see it. I would love to see the WWE like roster, the talent and everybody that works behind the scenes. I would love for them to see them all in uniform and just fucking go on strike, to stand up. Because, everything that we heard that was going on behind the scenes was not ideal.
It was toxic as fuck.
Yeah, so I would love to see that people stand up for themselves. I just, man, it's crazy to me. Cage Man IQ says, apparently there was a meeting before Raw tonight. There's going to be a meeting before every fucking show. As this is going on, just... Oh, man. Yeah, he says that's going to be a no for me, dog, on buying individual pay-per-views. Yeah, no, I don't. Dude, no.
Never going to happen.
No. Maybe I maybe would buy WrestleMania. And
Never.
Even then.
Well, that's not true. We did buy, like, as adults, we bought Royal Rumble and WrestleMania all the time because it was like the only one. Those are the only two, like, my friends that didn't watch wrestling would give a shit about. So,
yeah,
for sure, we always ordered Royal Rumble.
Under the context that you have company and guests coming over to watch.
Yeah, and we'd all chip in, everybody throwing like $10 a piece, and we order it.
Yeah, see, that would pretty much be the only condition to me doing it. So yeah. Last bit of WWE stuff. We already touched on this. Apparently, Raw already spoiled it, so this was already dated in my notes. But Cody coming back to the Rumble, that was already hinted at. Apparently, Sanity is might be coming in for a return. That would be
I seen they signed what's his name?
Yeah, Eric Young, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you just need to get Alexander Wolf back and then Big Damo back, Killian Dane. I liked them as a faction in NXT. I thought they were cool. They obviously they were one of the quickest flops when they went up to the main roster, because that's the one I remember talking about it not too long ago with you. Miz took him on in a fucking handicap match.
Yeah.
And won. That's how one of the most chaotic, badass factions to come out of NXT Black and Gold. Already a misstep. Everybody was already nervous when they got called up without Nikki Cross, because Nikki Cross was essentially the how would you describe it? Like almost like the lifeblood. Like she was the heart and soul of that group, because she was like the wild card in there. And so everybody was already nervous, and then you put them in a handicap match with the Miz.
Of all fucking people.
Not like John Cena, not like Randy Orton, not like a top tier guy. Although the Miz is like my favorite, I know where he is on the pecking order in power rankings of these wrestlers. 3-on-1 handicap match against the Miz, and he fucking lost. Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that was a bad one, RN.
Yes, extremely bad. And I don't know, they were all underrated. And even Madman Fulton in TNA, I forgot about him being an early part of the early version of Sanity he was a part of.
Really? There was another member outside of
Yeah, he was a big white dude with fucking dreads. He's in TNA now.
Who? What's his name?
Ace Austin's heater. Madman Fulton.
Madman Fulton.
He's actually from Ohio too.
Madman Fulton. Sanity. Oh, look at that. No shit. Oh, yeah. Look, there he is. Eric Young and Alexander Wolf, Nikki Cross. No joke. I had no idea.
That's because you didn't watch NXT.
That is also true. It's also true. Was Sawyer Fulton was his NXT name. Okay, cool, man. Thank you, Cage.
He's I don't know if he still is, but he was Ace Austin's like bodyguard / heater.
It's interesting, man. Yeah, I'd be neat if Sanity came back. I think the other big one that's a fair shoe-in. Now, whether or not he comes back on a weekly TV show or if they hold off for his return on the Rumble is Matt Riddle. So the 6-week timeline, because remember in kayfabe, he was injured. So it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So they obviously did this with the intention of him returning, assuming that he went to like rehab for the shit behind the scenes. But yeah, so it's a fair assumption he'll be back. Most likely, what you would think a Rumble return, right?
Yeah. He's been back on social media too. He posted a thing with him and his kids out to dinner or whatever. So shit must be getting close because I know it was pretty much like radio silence for a while.
Yeah, it was. That was. Riddle is billed for a show in February. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, WWE, like I said, this isn't one where they like quietly pulled him off TV. They did it in stories, so they
Right.
obviously did it with an intention and a timeline for him to return. I think he'll be at Rumble return. Cage says apparently he's getting his shit together finally. I hope so, man. You know, RN, you and I talk obviously a lot about addiction and mental health and everything, and yeah, I hope so, man, because he's got a shit ton of potential. He's one of your favorite all time wrestlers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
I mean, and we got to think too. He went through a lot of shit here within the last like 4 or 5 years. I mean, messy divorce with his before he even divorced, the chick coming out saying that he assaulted her and shit
like
just
the
because
Me
he
Too
broke
stuff.
up with her.
Yeah,
And then the divorce, messy divorce. Then all this, he's gone through it. So like hopefully he has got his shit together mentally and like able to kind of fucking bring everything together and get it back on track.
yeah. No, I hope so. I know a lot of people personally aren't fans of his like character and everything in the
Right.
ring, and
Which I'm not either. Like I don't get into it. Like I love him as a wrestler and everything. Like I hate the stoner shit too, but I mean,
main roster Riddle has never. I mean, I've always like mildly enjoyed him. Now I'm still a huge fan of his stuff he does with Randy Orton. I thought that duo was perfect, you know, and obviously we wanted to see some type of conclusion to that duo, but you know, obviously with Riddle and his shit, and then Randy Orton with his back injury and them going radio silent on Randy's potential return. I mean, there's fucking talks of Randy retiring without ever coming back.
right.
And never knew Randy was that fucked up. The only time I ever really heard about him saying shit was going wrong was that Broken Skull session he did with Stone Cold, and he was talking about his back was getting beat up, and he even joked, he was like, "I wish I hadn't picked a finisher that involved me jumping as high as I could and then just landing on my back." Yeah, every time. Think we'll see Randy again? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll be around even if he doesn't wrestle. Like I feel like he's got that potential to be like a mouthpiece or like even a heater for somebody where he's not really wrestling, but he's like just fucking people up for him and stuff. Like I think there's always going to be a place for Randy Orton because he's that good.
Yeah. It'd be weird to see him outside of competition. Like, because he just, I don't know, man, the way he's built and the way he looked. I mean, for one, he's aged about as gracefully as you could ever ask to age.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just weird to ever see him like outside. It would be cool to see him like in a almost like a Triple H. Oh no, because even Triple H in Evolution was an active competitor.
More like MVP.
Yeah, MVP. Could he talk for somebody else though? You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely. Like him being the mouthpiece of like if he did, it'd be dope if he did like would it Legacy and him being just a mouthpiece of it and just gathering up young dudes or whatever and like teaching them the ways. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be fucking dope.
Drew Gulak. That's spring chicken.
Always.
Yeah, Cage says he's done everything he possibly could in the company, which is crazy. Yeah, he's my pick to break the Ric Flair record. Well, I guess the Ric Flair John Cena title record
Right.
now. I'd love to see Randy break 16. There was always that fantasy booking, which seems like way too clean cut to ever get done. But what was it? It was I think it was for Randy Orton to come up, get 16 titles, and then face John Cena in a retirement match, where one of them wins the 17th title, but they both retire. Like that's it. Just one hits 17, retires, vacates the belt the next night on Raw after Mania.
I just look at Randy. Randy's the if he comes back from this back thing, like to me, I just always looked at him as being like the LeBron James, like still being in one of the most fucking immaculate looking, impressively built wrestlers, but like literally 60 years old, but still can fucking like dunk and fucking get a triple double.
How
like,
old?
That's just
how old is LeBron in league terms? Is he fucking ancient at this point?
Oh, he's fucking one of the oldest, if not the oldest player in the league right now.
Really? I didn't.
And top 5 in scoring, top 5 in assists, top 5 in rebounds.
No shit. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. Well, you got to think he's in normal life, he's in the prime of his life. He's
what, like late 30s at this point?
I think he just turned either 37 or 38 on Christmas Eve or right around Christmas Eve.
Cage says 38. Okay.
Yeah. We are the same age. So yeah, he's like I said, in normal life, he's in his prime, but in NBA life, he's literally a fucking ancient.
He's ancient. Yeah.
Ancient. But like I said, he's still top 5 in probably every fucking statistical category.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. The last rumor is John Cena obviously returned for SmackDown, the last SmackDown of the year, which by the way was hilarious. RN, have you gone back and watched it by any chance?
No, I have not. I meant to. I didn't even think about it.
Dude, all he returned for was a 2-minute hot tag.
Yeah.
That was it. He stood on the side. They didn't even do the whole thing where he they did do a couple tag teases, but no, he didn't come in and do a quick tag in and out. No, he stood on that apron. Kevin Owens got worked over for 98% of the match. John Cena came in, got the hot tag, did the 5 moves of doom, did a double 5-knuckle shuffle with Kevin Owens, which looks surreal. Kevin Owens doing a 5-knuckle shuffle next to John Cena, and then called it a day. It was fantastic. It was fantastically dumb, but still fantastic. And then Cage over here stealing what I was leading into. Thanks, Cage. Cena and Theory filmed a promo in Tampa 2 weeks ago for something in the future. And so there's speculation that is for their feud going into WrestleMania. It also very well could be like an advertisement for the new WWE 2K game.
Right.
But the fan
I've been saying that the closest thing you'll get to Cena moving forward is Theory. I stand on that. I've been saying that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Their trajectory, their look, and like I said, we still have not got to see him unleashed on the mic. He's a fucking beast on the mic. Like I said, I'm not really fond of John Cena like that, but I'm definitely here if this ends up being a feud. Because I think it's gonna people are gonna get to see it ain't gonna be Roman versus John Cena on the mic when they start sparring. I'm telling you that right fucking now. It ain't gonna be none of that sucker and succotash shit. Theory is up for the task to spar with Cena. I'm telling you.
No, I agree with you. I think so wholeheartedly. I think Theory is great too. It's Cena truly is unique, man, because it's hard. You know, the only person I see parallels to Cena. I know it's gonna sound it might sound silly. You might get it. But because of Cena's size, anytime it's weird that we see a lot of guys that we relate to larger than life stars, like Ricky Starks as being compared to The Rock. And then we say Theory compared to Cena, but these guys kind of lack in the size department as far as those guys. They match them in personality and stuff like that.
Theory's not that far behind as far as size wise.
Yeah. So a person I think that's even closer, that obviously he's not going to be as fluent on the mic, but I think he's closest size and personality wise is actually Max Caster over there, part of the Acclaimed in AEW. And some people might think that that's just me, because Max Caster raps and everything. No, I think that dude's, I think he's a huge personality. I think he's really
and he's fucking huge in real life. I've met him and shook his banana fucking hands.
He's a massive person.
My hands disappeared when we shook hands. He's huge as fuck.
Yeah, man. So I think Max Caster's got a lot of potential. Him and Anthony Bowens too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, anyways, that's it for like the news, rumors, and the fun stuff of this. Go ahead and wrap up and talk a little bit about in-story stuff that I've been watching. I've been liking maybe already. You've seen a couple things. Did you see Adam Cole's return?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was all right.
He leaned so hard in that retirement, like potential will he retire?
Yeah.
Dude, I was biting too, man. I was biting because he got 2 concussions in such short spans, dude.
Right.
I was like, fucking. But he got us. What I'm wondering is, he says he's going to the top of AEW. I think he's going to stop along the way and settle for another belt. What do you think? What belt do you think he's going to get his hands on before that?
Probably gonna be the Atlantic.
All Atlantic.
Yeah.
Oh man. I think so too. Actually, that's the first belt that came to mind for me as well. Yeah, because the top of the card is pretty damn congested.
There's just so many fucking belts. Like it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Cage says trios title. Well, who would he partner with? Because Bobby Fish is gone. Oh, he says the Kingdom. Who's the Kingdom again? That's
Mike Bennett and
Mike
Matt
Bennett.
Taven.
Matt Taven. Yeah, because we haven't seen nothing of them since their lackluster debut with Maria Kanellis.
Right.
They came out. That was kind of like when I think that was about the time that even the hardcore AEW fans were like getting kind of fed up with all of the debuts. Like the debut, like the specialness had wore off, and that was like one of the first ones where like they came out, and I think the vast majority were like, yeah, who cares? Like, I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it, because Mike Bennett, very, very talented. I love Maria Kanellis. I haven't seen much of Matt Taven, but
Taven's the best in that group, honestly.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. Put Cole with him. I like to see it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think you're right. Did you see? Okay, so that means you saw the Tony Storm and the tag match, right?
Yeah.
Man, I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. I thought it was a done deal. We were going to see Sasha Banks on AEW Dynamite. Do you think something fell through at the end, or do you think this was the plan all along? I think
this was the plan all along, because he even came out on a couple podcasts like saying like, I'm fucked no matter what. Like if she comes, they're going to say that I signed a bunch of WWE people. If she doesn't come, they're going to say I couldn't get her. So once I heard that, I knew he was coming out like, fuck, I fucked up. I probably should have went after her. Like you could tell in his tone of voice. So like I never thought she was coming. Like I never thought to begin with. Then after I heard him on that, I don't know, it was on TikTok or something. I heard like the, you know what I'm saying, like the little clip of it or whatever. Like I'm like, oh yeah, he didn't get her. Like he's kicking himself that he didn't try to. Like you could tell.
Yeah, Cage says she's focused on NJPW and Stardom and CMLL. I know. I thought we were going to get like a one-off of her and Saraya. It would be an easy way to tie in how they're like linked to each other, not just through WWE. Do
we even know that they're
Saraya's
even cool?
injury.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do we even know that they're cool anymore? Like maybe because to me, I thought that kind of was probably what maybe played a big part of it.
I want to say it's been reported that Saraya forgave Sasha, but you know what I mean. Sometimes you also say things to be like the bigger person in public.
Right.
You know.
Right. That's what I'm saying too. Like,
yeah.
How do we even know that they're cool for real?
She wants to do what she wants and when she wants. She wants to do what she wants when she wants. And NJPW lets her do that. She's only committed to 4 dates. Yeah. And she's the largest paid wrestler ever. In the company's history. That's so nuts. I love that stat, man. I love that stat. She's a heel in NJPW. It'd be weird. Yeah, we talked about that. We were talking about how, like, had she come out and tagged with Saraya, the heel face dynamic of that match, and it still was kind of all jacked up. Just because Britt is a heel, and then Jamie Hayter is supposed to be a heel, but everyone loves her, so they're going to cheer for her. Paige, everything about Paige is kind of like a dick, but she's supposed to be a baby face.
Right.
Yeah, that whole thing was messed up. And then Toni Storm looked pissed off when she came out too, by the way.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. She probably knew they were going to get booed for, not being Sasha. I'm interested to see the Shida heel turn though.
Right.
I wonder if it's going to turn into the. I know it's cliche and it's kind of like very shallow, but like the AEW homegrown women's division against ex WWE women's division, because I could see that as a motivation for.
I don't. I
Shida.
think them acknowledging it, leaning into it, is a
You think
bad
so?
look. I don't think they'll ever do it.
I
Because
mean,
like
they
I
leaned
said,
into it promo wise.
Tony even brought up himself, and he never acknowledges that. And like I said, I wish I could figure out, remember what podcast I was off if he was on. Like he pretty much said it. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I'm fucked because if I bring her, they're gonna say I hire up all the WWE people,
Yeah,
and then if I don't get her, like how didn't you get Sasha? She's the biggest star. So
this
like,
is the biggest damn thing.
right, that's what I'm saying. It's like I doubt he'll ever lean into that as much as they like to talk shit and like give WWE shit. Like I feel like he's not that dumb.
Yeah, the only thing that gives credence to that idea was the original promo between Britt Baker and Paige. Was Paige coming in like she owned the place, and Britt's the one who had to deal with all the bullshit that AEW's women division went through and still goes through, and helped build it up to what it is today. So I was like, they already kind of have a foundation there.
Yep.
Although, do you consider Toni Storm like a WWE chick? Because she really wasn't there that long. How long was she in NXT for? She was
in
there long
NXT
enough.
UK.
Yeah, and she was there long enough to make it to main roster. She did the stupid pie face shit with Charlotte. Right. I forgot all about that.
Well, that's what I said. She was in NXT UK for about 2 years, or because remember the first, and don't forget the first Mae Young, or not? What? Yeah, was it the Mae Young?
The Mae Young Classic. I don't consider NXT UK like WWE though. That is like the furthest, like the loosest connection to WWE you can.
But it's not because but it's a lot of these fucking guys that are from there now, and they're making their debuts here now.
I know, but
I guess it is like double A, triple A.
It just felt like the NXT indie scene that was just happened to be receiving a WWE paycheck. I felt like WWE's fingers were like the least in that company.
Nah, that's because you didn't watch it. Like it was it had it was fucking dope. Like a lot of times too, especially like towards the end when Black and Gold was like getting iffy. Like NXT UK was fire. They call that a fucking fumble. Are you kidding me? They are getting their asses.
Dude, yeah, the Bucks are done. Anybody who hates Brady, you might want to turn on the game, dude. It's 24-0 right now, the Cowboys. Goodness gracious. I bet you Justin's having the time of his life. Anyways. Yeah, I didn't know, man. I didn't know. You're right. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch like anything NXT except for takeovers. Takeovers are always fantastic. Right. Yeah. What do you think of the Elite and the Best of 7 series?
It was too much, and I'm glad. I mean, it was nice that Kenny won or whatever, especially coming back. But like, I mean, I didn't hate it. The last match was dope, but it was just like overkill.
It's kind of like what's next, because you obviously don't want to go into like the feud to go back with Death Triangle. You just did 7 matches. That's the blow off. You know what I mean? You don't want to. So you have to find the next upcoming feud.
Right.
I would say House of Black is great, but the problem is like we always say, AEW is just overthinking it with them.
Yep. On
top of that, the only time I want to see House of Black go after those trios titles is if they're gonna fucking win them. You know, like that's the thing, is I want them to achieve that level of success. Malachi Black, to this day, it still baffles me how he has fallen so far from where he was at in NXT Black and Gold. Like, he was one of the coolest fucking champs ever, man. And they just cannot do anything with him. He's essentially he's worse off than what Bray was in where Bray was at with WWE. He's even worse off there. Because at least Bray would try creatively to get you interested. It just feels like...
They were trying to. Remember when he got released? It was almost like some Uncle Howdy shit, for real.
Yeah, man. It was good. It's just everything that's presented on TV just kind of falls flat, man. Like, I don't know. I really hope House of Black wins. I just think if they're the Elite's first feud removed from the best of 7, I don't see it happening. I just don't. The Bucks like to hold on to their titles for a while. So does Kenny Omega. He likes to hold on to his belts for a while. I just don't see it happening. Yeah. Lastly, we'll talk about some SmackDown stuff before we get out of here, dude. I know it's like beating an old drum. Did you catch last week's SmackDown?
No.
So Bray Wyatt apparently has transitioned back to Eater of Worlds. Bray Wyatt. They did. He came out and they had the rocking chair in the ring, right? And he comes out and he essentially says he had to remember who he was. He has to revel in who he is. And then he essentially proclaims himself. He says, "I am the Eater of Worlds. I am Bray Wyatt." And then it does the classic whole. And he says, "Fucking, God damn it! Why, Aaron, help me, save me here. I'm drawing a blank.
Right.
I'm drawing a blank. Fucking Max Dupree."
LA Knight.
LA Knight. Thank you, man. It says LA Knight needs to run, and then it does the classic Bray Wyatt blips, like the classic shit where it cuts and so yeah, but he says in that promo that he is Uncle Howdy. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been out on the fucking Bray Wyatt stuff,
dude. I'm trying to hang on. I am trying to hang on to it because I want to love and I want to believe there's something really crazy at the end of this. But I am still just as fucking confused as I was
always
when this shit started. Oh, man.
I just don't understand. Like, they still haven't explained what or who Bray is. Like, and until they do that, like, all of this shit is just like in one ear and out the other ear to me.
Like, okay, so there's a fan group on Facebook, which is actually one of the cringiest fan groups that keeps popping up on my timeline. But they have like 30,000 members. It's called the Firefly Funhouse fan group or whatever. And a lot of them believe that this whole thing that Bray has been doing was to get us back to Eater of Worlds. Hey, World Elite Pod is here, man. I think, is that you, Marcus? I could be wrong. I think that's Marcus. But it's to get us back to the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. The part that's throwing me off is this motherfucker said he is Uncle Howdy, but we saw a physical person. Oh, he says it's Dylan. Okay, what's up, Dylan? But we saw a fucking person in the Uncle Howdy mask. So I'm just confused already, man. I don't know what to do. Who the fuck is Uncle Howdy? Bray just said it's him. He said it's him.
I was hoping it was Bo.
That's me too, man. Hoping it's Bo. Oh, man, but
hey, remember we got all those rumors about them putting together a fucking faction and stuff and everything?
The Wyatt faction. This is where you blame, like, this is where, like, you can talk shit about the fans. Is we're working ourselves. But I'm sorry, man. Like, I will say this. I love Bray's creativeness, and all of that. However, creativity. I love his creativity. But we got to dumb it down just at least a little bit for me, okay? Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Right.
The story beat's been kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is. I literally gave up on it after like week 2 or 3.
Yeah, man. They said it's a long running one. It's run all the way out to WrestleMania, but we're about halfway there now. I need to start making sense for me. That's all.
Yeah.
Maybe this Mountain Dew Pitch Black match will clear some stuff up our end.
Yeah, I highly doubt it.
I love that his first match back in the WWE is corporately sponsored and titled. That, that's it's up there with the hopefully it's not as bad, and you guys can come for me if I jinx it, but hopefully it's not as bad as the fucking what was the zombie one? It was at Extreme Rules or something, right? Where the Miz got ate by zombies.
I thought that was I thought that was an NXT match, or maybe it was Extreme Rules.
No, it was the Miz. He got ate by. It was him and Damian Priest, and it was for that zombie movie that came out on Netflix that had Batista in it.
Oh yeah, the something of the dead or some shit.
Yeah. It was at Backlash, is what Cage thinks. Either way, hopefully it's not as bad as zombies. Okay.
Right.
But it is corporately sponsored. And I promise you, we will see plenty of Mountain Dew in that match. I guarantee it. We will see Mountain Dew in that match. Somewhere. Just like we had Pizza Hut sitting beside for the Rock's Rumble, like the Rock's Battle Royal. Remember that shit? We had a Rock tribute Battle Royal at the end, and it was like the New Day or the Street Profits got to eat some fucking Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it was the Street Profits and New Day, I think. I think it was both of them.
Jesus Christ, man. That's Bray Wyatt's return, man. It's fucking Mountain Dew. Oh my God. Yeah, there was that, and then Sami Zayn and the Bloodline shit still is awesome, bro. That's the part where I really feel for you, because you're missing out on probably one of the best stories in pro wrestling right now.
No, I go back and watch that. I catch those skits and everything. I just haven't really gone back and watched.
So you saw how he got played, right?
Yeah.
Man, what the fuck's going on, man?
I love it. I love that they're keeping us on our toes and that we're not used to this. That's why it's so good. It's because of Vince and fucking Bruce Pritchard, and I blame Bruce Pritchard for a lot of this shit. We aren't used to having to actually be looking forward to a story, not knowing what's happening, and getting swerved for the sake of the story, not just getting swerved to be swerved because they want to. We haven't had this in years in wrestling, and that's why it's so good.
Commentary really leaned hard this week into Sammy's being used by the Bloodline. They don't really touch on that like as hard. I mean, Kevin Owens is usually the one driving that narrative, but even commentary this time around, they were trying to bring it up a lot, that all of a sudden like Sami Zayn's being used and everything, which but yeah, man, yeah, Sami comes out. He wants to game plan about his match with Kevin Owens, and Paul Heyman breaks it to him. He's like, no, there's nobody here. There's no Bloodline here. It's just me. You're gonna go out. Roman doesn't want to insult you by thinking you can't get the job done. So you go out and do it. Sammy says, essentially, he's honored. And he goes out, and he's having his match with Kevin Owens, and he's fucking winning. That was the thing, is I thought he was going to come out and just lose, but no, he was winning. He was setting up. He did I think it was like 2 exploder suplexes into the corner, and he was about to do the haluva kick, and then the Bloodline came out, minus Roman, and just beat the piss out of Kevin Owens. And Sami Zayn looked fucking bewildered. And he also never put his hands on KO during that beatdown, too, by the way.
Like I said, there's little breadcrumbs they're leaving for us.
Yeah, it's nuts. Still don't know. You say that you want you said the Usos to be ousted, right?
No, I want Roman to be ousted, and then Sammy's the only one that has his back.
Oh, so Roman would no longer be the Bloodline. The Bloodline would be the Usos and Solo.
Right. Or with Solo taking over his leadership.
Oh, that'd be pretty neat. I ain't gonna lie. Solo needs a mouthpiece, though.
My thing is you keep Paul there.
Yeah.
Really, Roman doesn't need Paul. Like, Roman helped out. I mean, in the beginning he did, but now he doesn't. The reason why I was calling for that, because then we get this weird fucking rock and sock kind of deal where Roman's like, fuck, all I had was Sammy. And then he really does start to fucking love Sammy and appreciate Sammy. And we get this fucking weird ass, unstoppable fucking tag team. Like, tell me that wouldn't be fucking dope.
Roman's birthday gets This Is Your Life. This is your
life, you know what I'm saying? All that shit, bro. Like, tell me the Usos versus fucking Sammy and Roman for the titles wouldn't be fucking dope.
Nah, it'd be great, man. It'd be great. Yeah, man. It'd be fantastic.
Just get this crazy run of fucking Roman and Sammy just destroying the tag team division.
It's an out there one. You know, that is the possibility that I see the least.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
it's a hot take for sure.
It's a hot take, man. All right, man. Let's get the fuck out of here. You guys, before we go, RN and I, we always like to mention that as two people that have struggled with addiction and mental health, we like to let you guys know there's no shame in ever admitting that you need help, not only to yourself but those around you. We ask that if you are struggling with these things, reach out to those around you, reach out to us. Just reach out, man, and get help.
Yep.
RN, you struggle with drinking and then of course terrible losses in your family, man. And to this day, it's fucking crazy knowing how you that me and you get to link up every week and
Right.
and you don't and you're not your ass ain't bouncing off the walls anymore, you know.
Facts.
Yeah, man. And then me, I've struggled with drinking and in depression like for fucking like over 15 years, and actually was I'm rolling up on a year, man. Yeah, so we got two more shows. And then I'll hit a year sober, which is a milestone I don't think I would ever fucking see. Never.
Oh, and last week was my 3-year anniversary.
Yeah. For the show?
Yeah.
It's a weird time to bring that up, RN.
I didn't think about it until like literally you were like
fucking weird tonal shift, dude.
Totally forgot about it. I meant to bring it up last week and I forgot.
I'll send you out a care package, man.
What we were thinking about anniversary was like, fuck, it was last week, not this week.
Fuck, man. You have to send me that date so I can put a reminder on my phone for
it's like the 9th or the 10th. I don't know. Katie sent it to us last year because remember, we didn't know either. And we were doing the show with Katie. And she's like, yeah, this is like your second year. I'm like almost to the date. I'm like, fuck, it is, isn't it?
I never remember shit like that. I should, though. I should remember stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, not as somber this time, you guys. But look, if you're struggling with addiction, mental health issues, please reach out.
Reach out.
Yeah, man, reach out.
We won't put you on blast. We won't tell anybody. Like, you can reach out to one of us. You can reach out to both of us. Like, any type of help, any type of support, shout out, anything you need to kind of help you on your journey as far as mental health or your sobriety, please don't hesitate to reach out to us or the people that love you.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you who needs to reach out. It's the fucking Buccaneers, man. They are getting their asses.
Shit.
It's 24 down. That game's over, man. I mean, I believe in Tom Brady comebacks, but this is like
I mean, he came back from worse than that Super Bowl, so like it's not
by 1 point. Like, yeah. Goodness gracious, man. But yeah, that's it, man. RN. What else you got going on, man? How's the kennel business treating you?
Pretty good. We just went to a dog show on Saturday. One of our dogs got 3rd place, so we had a pretty nice outing and stuff and everything. We got some pups on the ground. Don't hesitate to reach out. Route 4 Kennel on Instagram, Route 4 Kennel on Facebook, or just DM me here and I can point you in the right direction. But yeah, Route 4 Kennel for life. Yeah,
man. And then if you guys ever want to talk about wrestling, South Park, or MMA, man, I'm huge in UFC and MMA. There's some breaking shit, dude. UFC towards the end of last year had 3 African champs, and as of like less than a week ago, all those champs are gone now. Izzy lost his belt. Kamaru Usman got knocked out in his fight at the end of the year, and then Francis Ngannou, who was like the scariest human ever alive, bro, was the heavyweight champ. Contract negotiations fell through, and Dana released him. And apparently John Jones is coming back. But yeah, man, we had 3 African champs at one point last year, and all of them are fucking gone now. Or not gone, but none of them have their belts anymore. It's crazy. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week, Sunday. The Giants don't play on Sunday, right? Or do they?
No, they play on Saturday. We're good.
We're good?
We're good.
All right, we'll catch you Sunday night, 9 o'clock. Y'all have a good one.
Peace out, y'all.
Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast. Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, the best there is, best there was, and the best